muting you out right now.
Yo.
All right, guys, I'm James O'Neill. Once again, your host with the O'Neill Ops Podcast, and this is episode 4. Got the co-host along for the ride again today, Keith Rissy. And we're always discussing the topic that we're going to go over next. Told Keith if he wasn't doing much today just to come out and we'll chat and figure out what we want to do. And I was kind of racking my brain thinking about maybe going over some optics, going into detail on some barrels or some guns. And he goes, dude, man, we were down. You already lifted this morning. I was down actually lifting right when he came in. I still got the shakes from it. And he said, let's just go over working out and lifting. And I know this might be kind of a turnoff for a lot of guys because they don't want to listen to a couple of meatheads sit here and BS about lifting or cardio or whatever. But I really think that lifting is a huge asset in what we do. Lifting, working out, running, it's a massive asset in our work and actually being able to get the footage that we do.
And maybe not lifting as far as for everybody. Like you said, not everybody wants to sit here and listen to us talk about lifting, but cardio, maybe you're going on an elk hunt. Maybe you're going on a mule deer hunt somewhere in the high country, you know. There's cardio. There's so many different things that would help you.
Yeah, it's one of those, dude. Before, do you ever notice that? I was down lifting yesterday and I was on iHeartRadio. There's an app on smart TVs.
Yeah, and
I just searched hunting podcasts. In every hunting podcast that I listen to, it sounds like the guys have, like how I'm talking right now. If you talk to me normal, kind of sounds like I got a little sexy voice going on here.
I didn't think anything like that. I guess
I think it's because I was thinking about this the other day. You try to talk all quiet, or you ever listen to guys do narrative over videos, and they're just trying to be all soft in the microphone.
It's a good thing your voice is sexy because your face is.
Oh, that's why I lift, dude, to try to make up for it a little bit. But but I'm serious. Like I try to look at when you take a
Where
pic.
are you going with this, bro?
I don't know.
Where are you going, man?
Where you take a picture. It's this, or you take a picture, and if you overexpose it, all that white is lost. You can't get that information back. Well, if you peg out your microphone too high, all that information's lost. You can't. So you hit your P's and your T's. You can hear it pop.
Yeah.
And that's what we're waiting for, our microphone thing. So it limits when we get excited. So I think that's why I kind of talk like, just kind of give it a little bit of a
got your radio voice going on.
Sexy voice. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, but we'll
throw that shit out the window.
Exactly. We're going to try. I was just going to say, we're going to try to talk as normal as we can, guys. And a lot of guys are going to be interested in this. And probably more so aren't, but we are going to be getting into detail.
It's just something we do. I mean, as far as
lifestyle,
what we chose to start doing years ago, and we still do it.
And it takes a toll on your body, and we'll get into that. But if you do it right, which I guarantee you I haven't.
I never have. I probably never will.
Especially with our age. We're getting right now to where we're not young anymore. But you look at what we're doing, and you look at these kids, and we're still hammering. I mean, I'm way stronger now than I was in my early 20s.
Yeah.
My mid-20s, I was just doing stupid shit.
Trying to lift the weight room. Everything. The whole thing. Put it all on the bar.
Bench, squat, freaking being dumb, putting up stupid numbers, doing stupid stuff. And I can, and college sports played toll in it too. And
where you did football, I didn't do football, so you're a little worse to wear as far as me
body wise.
Yeah,
it don't take much though. I mean,
and for your age, I mean, you're freaking old. It's like,
yeah,
you're probably wore out by now, huh?
You guys got about 2 more years on the coyote hunting season, and we're done. That's
what that one guy say to you.
Yes.
That comment he said.
You know what, dude? You know what, dude? When you're talking about something, I'll get to it and I'll find it
what
on
that guy said.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. But the way that we look at lifting and training in general is starting off at the very beginning in high school. It's just been here. I'll be honest with the way that I always looked at things when I was young. And this might sound stupid, but just to be truthful, I watched, there was shows on TV that actually, nowadays it's all skinny jeans and ripped up guys and stuff like that. Well, I was watching freaking He-Man.
You were watching Arnold is what you were watching.
Arnold, He-Man, Rambo. My nickname in PE was Rambo from my PE teacher when I was in 4th grade because I'd always wear I never wore jeans, but those are some of the shows that I was around. We were around Ninja Turtles, He-Man, big dudes, big yoked up freaking diesel guys that I wanted to be like. It is just a personal preference. I always wanted to be different than everybody else, and by lifting, it's like an art. You can build your body how you want to build it. If you want to have big arms, you can go to the gym and freaking train just doing curls.
Curls gets the girls.
If you want to have traps and look tough, big old fat neck, you can go.
Goldberg. Remember Goldberg?
Yep.
That's what we had. Traps like Goldberg.
Exactly. And then that was early on. I remember over in that round Quonset when I was younger than I was probably 5, 6, 7, and Dad had an old junked out bench with a junk bar that was all rusty, and I went over there and I remember my first time benching, and he came in there and he said, "Hey, if you want to do this, I'll teach you how to do it." And from then on, it was just I did it, and he taught me what they knew then compared to what they know now. You can't compare it.
And I remember coming out and you got that bar with them cement blocks on the end of it.
Yeah, still got it.
Yeah, it's still here. And I remember when we were kids, that was the heaviest thing in the world. And now it's like
nothing. You do curls with it. Yeah.
It's like just growing up, starting that young or thinking that young, I want to lift that. I want to be able to hankling that or even lift it. It's like,
and that's a start. That's our start. And when we went to high school together, where we kind of introduced Keith, and
we were sneaking into weight rooms. Where
the body loft, dude.
They wouldn't let us in because they're too young. We'd sneak in. We'd find a way and we'd sneak in there just to lift.
And we'd get our asses chewed. We got you guys can't, you're too little, you're too young coming, you're not paying for a membership, blah, blah, blah. Now it's done and gone.
Yeah, it's not there anymore, but.
That's what we would do.
Yeah, sneak into gyms, to weight rooms. And it wasn't even a good weight room, but it's all that we had, or all that was here.
And it worked. Cable crossover. We went in there and we were, it was fun because in high school, that's what really separate. Now they've got the science down to a T, everything. And back then, even before our generation, they didn't understand they did, but they didn't understand the concept. And I don't think they did. And the benefits of really training your body in the right way, which I said I haven't done. I'm not going to, we're going to do some videos and break this down too for a lot of the guys on our T4 series on the YouTube channel, and kind of do, ladders, how we do agility. I think that plays a big part, and we'll break that down on this podcast. I don't really want to get real long, but we'll keep this around probably half an hour, 45 minutes, hopefully.
Yeah.
And then the same thing with cardio, and then the same thing with heavy lifting, which is what we still do. But when we were younger, when I was younger anyway, and we lifted, I focused on I was always infatuated with being strong, having the muscles, and it kind of changed throughout college, I would say, to where,
well, you just got on a program that somebody else knew what they were doing, per se. So you get on a college program, and it's going to be totally different than what we're used to, where you want to do a pyramid everything. And
Exactly.
And as heavy as you can do it, you know.
And break it down. Like I still do I strictly only do pyramids. I mean, I do. That's what I bench and squat.
See, that's same. I don't pyramid squats anymore. I do, sets, but on bench, I'll pyramid for sure. There's other things I pyramid as well, but I always pyramided.
And that's what a pyramid is for you guys that don't know, is you start off light and then you have a higher rep count.
What I'll do is I'll do a warm-up set, maybe 12 to 15, like on bench. I'll do a warm-up set, and then I'll start with my set of 10. On your last set or last rep, maybe you're struggling a little, and then you add weight every time. So it's 10, 8, 6, 4, 2. If I feel great, I'll do a 1, and then right after that, I'll go right back to 10 and do what I started with. I'll do it 10 more times.
Yep.
Or if I might do it 12. If I can do it 12, I'll do it 12.
Same thing.
Yeah.
In a lot of same thing. A lot of times on my last set of 10, I'll even put maybe 5 or 10 pounds on more than what I did for my first set of 10 and get it 10 or 12 times. Just because by then you're warmed up. You fool your body. That last set of 2, it's a lot heavier weight than your first set of 10 or 12. Sure. And then you jump right into your last set of 10 and you unrack it and you're like, then you go for a burnout. It's still heavy, but But that's kind of what we mean regarding a pyramid. And then, but that's what we started with quite a bit. And I still do it. I really think that works because you hear guys going through plateaus. And then like Keith said, we'll kind of touch base on that too. But like Keith said, you have a college trainer, a physical trainer, or somebody that knows, that went to school for it. Like I would even almost go to say, like these Olympic guys, you watch these guys run in sprint, the amount of education on how, like, you watch them sprint and do 100-yard dash, man. And that was I did some track in college too, but you watch their eye level from start to finish when they bust out of the blocks, and it does not move.
Right.
They have all of that science down where they're minimalizing any movement that's unneeded. Right. Yep. So it's just so efficient how they do it. And you can break it down to anything like that. But what I'm saying is when you go from high school to where you don't know anything. Now they do. Now they've got they used to have like these bigger, faster, stronger programs and stuff like that. Yep. But in our case, you did here where I went to high school, the coaches knew a lot regarding sports, but regarding the aspect of lifting and stuff like that. Yeah, when you did conditioning, hey, take 3 laps. Yeah, with your pads on, mile with your pads on, half a mile, done. Yeah. Or we do wind sprints at the end.
Sure.
But I remember when you went to college or just high school and went over to Gordon, it's a different deal across that state line. The way I look at it, because at the time, you guys had a Division I college in your state, the Huskers. Yeah. And I think that really motivates a lot of guys in high school to want to go to that level.
Oh, yeah. And there was a Division II college only 60 miles away from where I graduated. It was almost like if you didn't work out, if you didn't lift, then because your buddies were, if you wanted to hang out with your buddies, you would go to the weight room. And if you didn't, for say like in football, if you weren't big, fast, strong, you weren't going to play. There was enough kids that you would live in the weight room, you would get better. Otherwise, you were going to sit on the sidelines. You weren't going to be part of the team. So, and that's kind of where I first started getting crazy into the weight room. And we would go twice a day. I would spend 3 hours a day in a weight room just to catch up or just to be with my buddies, because that's what they did. And I think my senior year, there was probably, I bet you 6 or 7 kids went to play college football with scholarships. And it was like, and I didn't. I right out of high school, I had surgery on my shoulder, and I was a baseball guy. I always wanted to be a baseball guy, So I didn't go play football, but it was there. You could have.
Yep, could have.
So,
and that's what I was getting. I remember I played. We actually did. We when I went and played with you, did we get second in state at baseball?
Yep.
And we played with all the guys that you played with, and they were all yoked up, fast, big built dudes. We fit right in with them, and it was, and you could tell that's exactly what it was.
And like you were a grade behind me, but like your buddies, you were kind of a leader as far as you lifted all the time. You didn't have that. Nobody else worked out like that.
No, nobody did. I mean, there was one kid that actually went to wrestle for the Huskers.
Yeah, which was my age.
Yep, which was your age, and he was hardcore. But most of the guys, when everybody was done with practice, the first thing was get the hell out of there. Let's go.
Yep.
And I wanted to go and I wanted to stay in and lift and work out. I always wanted to, but man, I lived 30 miles from town.
Yep.
And I had to drive all the way home in the dark, and my parents would get pissed. They're like, you ain't doing that. So going to college, it was freaking awesome because we'd get done with baseball practice, and I actually had the baseball coach at Brookings get pissed because I'd be lifting up into the time where everybody else was running out to take infield.
Yeah.
For not before a game, but for practice.
Yep.
And that's how it was.
But it's like I kind of hit that when I was going into my senior year of high school, where you didn't have anybody to lift with like that until you got to college, per se. So, I mean, I'm sure you went full bore when I got 5 guys that wants to go lift with me.
Yep.
Well, let's do it, dude.
Yep. And that's how it was. And it was, and it was just such a huge deal because I'm like, it was like a dream come true. Man, I can go to the weight room whenever I want.
Yeah. And
whenever.
It's got everything. I mean, it's like, I can lift whatever I want, whenever. It's like, bring it on,
Yep. And I wish, like, honestly, that I would have been able to, go to school like where you did, where I would have been in that group, and it probably would have made a massive change in what I ended up doing.
Sure.
But everything panned out good, I think. But when I got done with college and doing, I mean, I was stupid. We'll kind of go over lifting heavy, dumb. I mean, numbers even, you guys can believe us if you want, and if
your
not,
numbers were crazy good, out of control.
But like when I got done with college, before I got married, I was you and I in town. It was when you worked at the Ford dealership. So it's been a continuous process, or not. It's been a continuous pattern. We've done this over and over and over, and we haven't stopped. But like I would drive in every night to go lift, and you'd go
30 miles
in and back.
It's a sickness, dude.
Yep, it is.
It's a freaking sickness that started at a young age. And who's to say it's not? I mean, there's worse sicknesses to have, that's for sure.
It is. Yep. And so that's it. Oh, man, you can't describe it any other way. It is. It's not even an infatuation. It's a gosh, I'm at loss for the word right now, but
it's an addiction, dude.
That's exactly what I'm looking for. It's an addiction. You get addicted to it, and and I don't think it's a bad thing, because you like he said, man, you see guys in town right now that are our age, and what's the first thing that they do after work?
Go to the bar and drink a beer.
Go to the bar and drink a damn beer. And I remember when I came back from college, and I was probably weighing 230. I'm right now maybe 210. I don't want to be as big as I was, but I went to a sale with my grandpa, and we were sitting there talking to this guy, an older rancher, and he kind of looked at me, and he kind of had a, like a not disgusted look, but like, what, who's it? What are you doing? And my grandpa said, yeah, he likes to lift heavy things and do stupid and blah, blah, blah. And that guy looked at me and he goes, why don't you do something more constructive?
Really?
Yeah. I remember that to the day. And I kind of sat back and, I'm out of respect, never said a word. I could have just let him have it. But I honestly don't think, what can you do that's more constructive than build your body? I mean, you sure you could put that energy and that motivation somewhere else, but I really think we do with what we're doing. How in the hell guys say something like that, and then there's so many guys like, I don't have time to work out. You can find,
it's all a choice, dude.
Exactly. If you want to wake up, if you want to break balls and wake up in the morning at 4, you can do it.
You don't have time because you choose not to have
That's
time.
100% the truth.
That's the worst excuse that I hear ever is, I don't have time to do that. I got this. It's all a choice, man. Well, I choose to lift. That's what I choose to do with my time.
And if it comes before you come out and guy, if it comes before we go make a morning set,
Okay, then I go do it at 3 or 4 in the morning.
and if it comes afterwards, then that's what we do. Then after we have a long day of calling and our asses are beat, we go down and lift.
Yep.
And that's what I did in going to town and back, a 60-mile round trip. After I got married, that didn't set too well. It just, it goes
So
to
what
figure.
you did is you chose to, let's build a weight room out here.
Yep. And it made sense.
Yeah.
It's a hobby.
For what you paid in gas every day or whatever, let's put that in the weight room.
Broke even in probably 5 years.
Yeah.
Broke
And
even.
now you still have it. Now look what, now your kids are using it.
Yep. And it's a good, and that's what I really look at now is it's almost like introducing them to firearms at an early age where it's a really good thing. I would rather see my kids see me not drink.
Yeah.
And go downstairs and devote my time and energy to something that's more useful in your life. But then again, I don't fault guys that go, I don't care if you drink. That's your choice, man.
And you say that all the time. I mean, people come out here, shoot an elk, let's go have a shot. Man, I don't drink, but you can have as many as you want,
I usually send Abby out there. Here, she'll do it for you.
Have Abby will take my shots, right? But it's all a choice, man. It's what it is.
And there's nothing wrong with choosing not to.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with wanting to do it. But the way that,
and like you said, I ain't going to look down on you for not doing it. If that's your choice, that's your choice, man.
Yep. And it's all how we intertwine it with working out, with how we intertwine it with hunting.
Yeah.
It's just a force multiplier for what we do.
Yeah. People look at our guns and, they're 25-pound guns or whatever they are. And they're like, oh, no wonder you work out. You got to carry these around. Well, yeah, you grab your pack with a call, with a gun, with a camera, whatever. That's 50 pounds, man.
Yep. And by the time the season, we should almost do that this year. I was thinking about this the other day. By the time our season is over, I bet we're 2 inches shorter than we are when we started. I'm not even kidding, man. It's like you constantly have weight on your back and it's pushing you down every 90% of the time. The only time that we really don't is when we're sleeping, because if we don't have the pack on our back, we have weight on our back, or we're lifting, or we're doing something.
Yeah.
But it's just something that we like to do. It's something that I don't even want to say, there's a lot of guys that keeps you out of trouble, but I mean, that's just an excuse for some guys. But we break it down. I mean, I can tell now, probably I'm in my upper 30s, going to be 40 next year. And like, just from catching, from playing baseball, I should have never caught. I caught, but I didn't have, there was no reason to catch with the speed. I should have been outfield all the time. But when I squat down, my knees. Yeah. I never had any knee problems in college, never tore anything out, but just from going up, down, up, down, up, down every single time. But because I always thought it was lazy to drop down to your knees and throw it back to the catcher. So I would squat and then I would stand up and throw it back to the catcher. And it just, it wears.
Oh, yeah.
I guarantee you, I have you can see, I've had my knees x-rayed. I've got thin amount of cartilage between my joints, and it ain't helping to squat a lot, which is why I used to pyramid starting off at like 405 for my first set of 15.
Right.
First set of 20 sometimes, and just go up from there all the way up to 600 plus pounds. And it hurt. And now I'm doing, like, for my squats, that's one thing. I said I pyramided. I don't.
I don't pyramid on squats at all.
There's no need to now with what we're doing.
3 sets of 10 or 15.
Yep.
And in town where I work out, there's a hip sled, there's leg extension, leg curls. I can do all kinds of stuff, that isn't so bad or hard on my back or knees, per se. So that's how I choose to do. I mean, that changed a little bit, but. And
it's not even that a guy is getting old that you want to start doing that. It's a smart decision to a certain point. You don't need to overexert those muscles when you're using them all the time anyway during season. Yeah. The time to actually do it was what we do, is build that up during the summer and then just use them throughout the hunting season.
And you're kind of a jogger, runner guy. I'm a 2 miles max. I'd get on a bike and ride 10 to 12.
Which is really good.
I'll run hills. I'll run stairs.
Short bursts,
high intensity stuff like that.
Yep.
Where I'm 2 miles and it's just not fun for me.
And it's everybody. I was the same way in college. I never did distance, ever did distance.
Yep.
and it's all high speed, short bursts, because you're playing football. The furthest you're going to run at a time is maybe 80, 90, 100 yards.
Yeah.
That's a very minute percentage.
Right.
Most of the time you're looking at a single couple yards,
Yep.
10 yards.
Yep.
And same thing for baseball. You're looking at the hardest point is probably stealing a base or hitting a double or triple. And most of them, I heard a guy on the majors talk the other day. I just like to hit bombs. And the guy's like, why? He goes, because it's too much work to try and run it out. And I'm like, you got to be shitting me.
I guess you get paid that money. I mean, whatever.
Yeah. I'm like, that's getting pretty damn freaking particular there.
But even like when we're packing or walking, we're not, I mean, other than maybe jogging back to the pickup one guy or the other, but we're just, covering distance, covering up and down hills, packs on, carrying a coyote out, whatever. I mean, it's, I don't know. It's not long distance. I mean, I would rather run a hill and get my legs stronger that way, or put my weight vest on and do some ladders or whatever,
And that's just all personal preference.
It is.
Everybody, as long as you're kind of getting it, I think just even lifting weights, I noticed when I started kind of thinning up and kind of going into doing distance, or
you thinned up because you were running 8 miles a day last 2 summers.
That was dumb though.
Dumbass.
That was dumb. And you just, it doesn't take long to get into cardio shape.
Right.
If you lift
but
a lot.
You don't let yourself get out of shape is the thing.
Yep.
It's everybody's different. And what they say, I think they say lifting will stay with your body for 48 hours, where like a treadmill, a mile will stay with it as long as you're on the treadmill. As soon as you get off, you're not doing anything.
Yep.
So, I mean, everybody's different.
And the way that I look at it, at how we incorporate what we do into hunting is it's not, it doesn't just make it more enjoyable, because you get into a spot where your adrenaline's rushing and you walk in 2, 3, I mean, I don't want to say it like that. There's a lot of times where we only, like last night, we maybe walked a half a mile in.
Yeah, maybe.
Nothing. Yeah. I mean, we might have went a total of 1.5 miles yesterday from the first set to the second set,
right,
which is nothing.
But then you go to the river and we'll walk 6 or 8 miles.
Yep, all the way up with the pack on and make a full day out of it.
Right.
Throw food in and just something to get by for dinner.
So one extreme to the next. It's always different, but
you want to have that with you. You want to have that capability there, just like an optic. If you're gonna have the terrain we do, it pays to have a high magnification, because you might use it.
Right.
And that's how we look at training. You even though sometimes we don't, most of the time we do. And when you get into those positions, it's a hell of a lot more fun to unpack, prone out, get the camera done, and you're not tired.
No, you're good.
You're ready to rock. You're ready to pull the trigger while you're walking in.
Yeah.
And
you don't have to sit there for 10 minutes like, hold on, dude. Hold on, man.
Yep.
And that's just a choice that we make. That's what we want to do. That's how we want to feel.
And it's not like, you see a lot of these guys that are just marathon runner, Cameron Haynes type. Those guys are studs. Dude, nothing against them.
Machine, man.
Yeah. There is nothing. There's so many guys that are like, that's stupid. And there's so many guys that bring a damn chair along to hunt coyotes. Hey, you're getting out there and doing
walk
it
over the hill.
Yeah, you park your pickup, walk 50. Hell, if you can do it that way,
you hammer.
Yeah, you're out there, you're doing it.
Yep.
That's your style. That's how there's nothing wrong with it. And it's not that we're spineless here, not kind of being contradictive or singling one guy out versus another guy. It's just if you like doing it, then do it the way that you do it. And I see a lot of guys now that are probably, when I look at the analytics of our YouTube channel, a lot of guys are 20 to 40 to mid 40s are probably some of the highest views are coming from that age group of males.
Yeah.
And in this day and age, it's just different. But I think that a lot of guys are getting into that physical side of things. It's kind of I know one thing when I lift, man, if I don't do what I usually do, I feel like a puss.
Yeah.
I get pissed.
Yeah.
If I can't bench what I know I can't bench what I used to, but I have a number that I want to reach every time.
Still know what you can do or what you're capable of.
Yep. And if I don't do that, then I just, it bums me out.
Right.
And there's going to be a tipping point here soon.
But what's going to happen is if you didn't do that one day, you're going to do something during the week, maybe more push-ups, more whatever. So next week when you come back to that bench or whatever you didn't do, you're going to be sure and get it.
Yep.
And what, like my deal, I do weight training as far as lifting. I try and do at least 6 days a week. I don't do anything on Sunday. And this is during any time, I guess, season, not season. I'll lift 6 days a week. Some days you'll get behind, I'm a day behind. I'll do this, I'll do that, but then maybe I'll lift on a Sunday, or I'll lift a short workout for one body part and combine the two. So I catch up, but I'm always going to do something for that body part throughout the week,
Yep. And I'm the same exact way.
Yeah. And then like during season, as far as cardio, if I, where we're out hunting all the time, I might do a specific cardio 2 days a week, maybe 3, just depending on how hard we're hunting. If we're out hunting every day, that probably won't happen, but yet we might put, 5 or 6 miles in, that day.
Yeah, and when we're hunting, the need for additional cardio isn't really, like, that's another thing too. Like, that's what I would do in the summertime. Last year was ridiculous what I would do.
Yeah,
the biking and the running and every day it would either be bike 12 miles or 7 miles timed.
Yep.
And then run 4 miles or 5 miles timed every other day.
Yep.
And it was just dumb. But then you would use that because
right.
you would be 100% in shape. I mean, I'd be going like 40 beats a minute on my heart. I mean, it was just boom.
Yeah.
Boom. Because you're in shape. And then you could use all of that for hunting season. And by the time hunting season's up, it kind of stays with you. It's not to the extent as what your training was.
Right.
But it stayed with you. And
in the off season, like you said, you were something every day. And it's that way for me too. Whether it's biking, a run 1 or 2 miles is my deal.
The hill with a ballistic vest on.
I put my ballistic vest on and run my hill at least 2 days a week. At least, try and do 3. I'll do ladders. I'll do stairs. I'm always in the off season, summer workouts or whatever. I'm gonna do cardio at least 5 days a week. Something. Yep. And I still got my lifting still 6 days a week. So. That's just what I do,
Yep. And like what we'll do is we'll kind of go into a little bit of detail on what we do daily throughout the week, like what body parts we train. And there's really no right or wrong way to do it. But what I've kind of done is fabricated my routine around what I've learned throughout my life. And there's definitely no, I'm not saying my way is the only way or the right way by any means. But
just what you do for yourself.
Yeah, when I remember the first time I went to lift with the college football team at Brookings.
Were they like, "What are you doing, dude?"
No. I had to go by their program.
Oh, gotcha.
It was and it was all sets of 3 or sets of 5.
Right, and you did that program, and then you went and did your own thing afterwards.
Exactly.
Didn't you?
I did that program, and I'm like, dude,
that wasn't enough, dude.
No, this is easy. What the hell? And I would go like it was like. 3 sets of 12 lat pull downs, and and it was on a machine, so I'd stack it, put it and just boom, boom. All right. And then when we would do that like 3 times a week, and then incline was like 3 sets of 3 at certain percentage of your max. And it was like, all right, so you'd give them your max and it was like 1, 2, 3 done. 1, 2, 3. And then I'm like, I don't feel this.
Yeah. And then here comes our pyramid, that.
Yep. And then I'd come back in afterwards and lift. And I would kind of do it discreetly because you didn't want either the strength coaches to come. I got in trouble a few times because like, what do you, and in the end, dude, it came back to I don't want to go into detail about injuries, but I did have a career-ending injury, and it was a muscle.
Yeah. That
just done. I was done, and it turned into other things that was more muscle. And I remember, dude, I could not run for 4 years. 4 years. And I remember telling myself, I will never take running for granted again if I can come out of this. And it wasn't a torn knee. I ripped my thigh right into, and I've still got my muscle is completely split, which I have the full strength.
And then your vagina healed up. And now you're a coyote hunter.
Yeah. And then I turned, that's such a good one. That's such a good
seriously, one. You did wreck some,
And then that's what happens. It panned out. I'm glad it panned out how it did. It's awesome, and it's fun to do. But usually, so that's how, you know, we used what we learned over the years and incorporated it into the training regimen that we use right now. And we're not, I mean, it's something that works really well for us. But like on Mondays, we used to kind of do the same. We still kind of do. They're just on different days.
That way, when I come out here to work out, you know, we're still doing the same kind of thing per se, but not 100%.
And like for me I actually still do a couple, like I'd call them Olympic lifts, like hang cleans, which I think is dumb.
I don't do those.
I shouldn't. It yanks on your body pretty hard. But the only reason I do that is to basically prove to myself. That's it.
That mental thing.
That's that addiction. That's that sickness deal. But like on Mondays, I'll lift legs. I used to do it hard 3 times a week, but on my Mondays, and then I'll do mine, and then I'll kind of go through yours. And then, like I said, we'll break these down into videos probably either. And you guys need to know that our technique isn't pristine. All right. When we bench, it's not like a bench competition down, hold, press.
Yeah.
You know, we do it probably.
Some people that see this or hear this or watch this or whatever are probably going to say, "What are you doing, dude? You're an idiot." But
you do a 1 rep max with us. We'll go down and up, and we'll freaking it'll happen.
Yeah.
But like on my Mondays, I do legs and tries, and we have I don't know, we'll kind of show you. My tries are I'll do narrow grip, and usually my narrow grip routine consists of 5-5. 3-3-3, and it's a minor pyramid where every single set I'm going up weight. And then I'll do skull crushers, and then I'll do individual tries incorporated with individual buys. It's kind of a counter. I've noticed that on a lot of my lifts where I'll do, like if I'm going to do leg extensions, I will do hamstring curls intertwined with them. So you're countering one movement. You're doing curls, but you're doing pushes. Same thing with like shrugs. I'll like do shrugs, and then I'll do lat pull downs. Just, it's something that you don't have to do, but it's like what's the word for it when you do kind of like a circuit training thing. You can mix a little bit of cardio in with it because you're not stopping. I don't know. And then I'll do like today, like I'll do dips. I always start my routine with the ballistic vest, which weighs about 40 pounds. I'll do 3 sets of 100 push-ups to warm up. And then sit-ups. Every single time I'll have my sit-ups done. And I've got a sit-up routine that I do that I've done it all through college. It's just
and I do that. I mean, as far as the sit-up deal or whatever, like I'll do that at home. Usually at night is when I do mine. But you do yours, try and do them in the morning, don't you?
Yep. You know? I'll try to get, and then I'm done. Then I don't have to worry about it. I can hit straight into the weights.
I don't do anything like that as far as sit-ups or whatever at the weight room. I always do that at home, per se, at night, as well as my push-ups. So,
and then that's pretty much all for my triceps. And then, you know, sometimes I'll do tricep push downs on the lat pull down machine. Sometimes just with the machine. And then, for my legs, what I do is front squats. And I really started
on your tricep day.
On my tricep day. I'll do, because that's what I'd be doing for my legs. And we started doing front squats, and I probably do this in a video, but we started doing front squats with our arms crossed, so it would just balance on your shoulders. But when you start doing a lot of weight, it gets kind of tough. And then when we went in for baseball, they wanted you to do it like this, and it would actually help your wrist flexibility for throwing.
To keep your wrist flexible.
And I was pretty flexible anyway, and I would automatically go to 2 fingers. So I'm going 2 fingers for my front squats. And right now I used to do pyramid that too, 5-5, 3-3-3. But I'm only doing like 3 sets of 5 right now, and I'll change it up depending on how I feel. But usually before that, for my legs, I would do Vertimaxes just to warm my knees up. And what that is I'll probably have to show you a lot of guys. You could Google it too. But it's a platform that has bungee cords that you can adjust. There's lines in it, and each line represents a certain amount of tension. And then you have a belt that you put on, and there's like little hip pads so it don't rub you raw while you're doing them. And you just you explode as high as you can and as hard as you can. And I would do like 3 sets of 10 of those, and that would get my lower core warmed up. For squats. And then that's your Monday. And then it depends on what I would do if I would do cardio. Like if I'm going to run or ride bike or do ladders or do sleds.
Right.
And we can kind of go into those, break those down. But go ahead and explain what you do on your
My
Mondays.
Mondays are arm day. And the reason being I switch that all up because I lift chest on Fridays. I used to. And I felt like in the summertime, I coached baseball, my kids is whatever. So I'm always going, and I always felt like my chest took a hit on it, you know? I always thought my bench was not as good as it should be because I lift on Friday. Maybe Friday I'm going somewhere. So I would lift a light workout in the morning or whatever, you know. So what I did is I switched my chest day to Thursday so my chest wouldn't, you know.
Get taken for granted.
Yeah, yeah.
Get skipped out on.
So what I did is, and then my Thursday workout I just combined with my Monday. So I do triceps with my biceps. I do bis and tris together. And I'll do close grip bench. A lot of different tricep workouts I can do on like a cable crossover machine because we have that in town, you know.
And that's something that I want to get out here.
Yeah.
I would tear that. I would love that machine.
So I can do 10 different tricep workouts as well as bicep, you know, rather than like preacher curl, hammer curl, stuff like that, which I do. You know, I can throw in a bunch of smaller cable crossover machine workouts in with it and get a little more burn per se. So that's on my Mondays was chest and bis and tris. So that's a little different than what you do.
But it's still, I mean, and then my Tuesdays are traps and back.
That's same as mine.
And I don't do, I mean, this is where it goes into looking like, where you can basically, it's like artwork. You can sculpt your body how you want. And we went to Brookings and there was this guy, I don't remember his name, but he was probably at the time old, but he was probably mid-30s when he was there. And he always wore a freaking spandy shirt, tighter than the ones I like to wear. But it was one of them shiny ones, like biker shorts, like that kind of, like, yeah. And he walked around like this, dude, with his lats perked all the time. Just freaking boom. Cobra head. We called him Cobra.
He had the imaginary lat syndrome.
But he kind of had them.
But they were there, huh?
Yeah, they were. And we always, like, you know, you come to the back, he tried to do the Cobra head, boom. And he'd just walk around. And I don't know if he tried to, I think he tried to do it. Anyway, I always remember, I don't like that look. I don't, you know, I would rather have my profile be slim or straight down. You know, you have a waist and then traps. I like traps. Yeah. And from then on, I kind of focused doing a lot of shrugs. And I don't have big traps, but I train for it.
Yeah.
Try to.
Yeah.
And then, so that's kind of my back and my traps is basically I'll do stand. I used to do seated military, but I do standing now. Standing military behind the neck.
Okay.
And that's tough.
And I don't do that because of my shoulder. I had surgery.
Yeah, that's a tough one on your shoulders and your lower back and everything. It's tough.
Yeah.
But I kind of do that because I get dumb on weight and I can kind of cheat. I cheat a lot. You'll see. I mean, I cheat.
You ain't cheating. You ain't trying, buddy.
Yeah. And then I'll counter that with upright rows. So I'll do a set of standing military and then I'll do upright rows right away.
Okay. Yeah.
Bang those out. And sometimes I'll do 10, 11, 12 and go up the weight. Sometimes I'll just do 3 sets of 12. And then it's pretty much I'll basically superset everything. So I'll go straight into shrugs and I'll rip shrugs. I'll try to do 405 for like 25 and try to do decent.
That's what I do.
And then I'll put my weight vest on, do push-ups because I'm pushing up with my chest. And then I do rear delts right away because I'm pulling my chest back.
Okay.
Kind of countering that movement.
And in town we have a machine, a rear delt machine.
Yep.
I mean, it's probably not as good as like dumbbells per se, but
it works good for you.
Yeah, because I'll superset it too. You know, I'll do regular grip, reverse grip shrugs, regular grip, behind the back shrugs.
Yep, all the same things I do.
Dumbbell shrugs, I'll do those as well. I do lat pull downs on back and traps, obviously. The rear delts, the upright row, stuff like that. So.
Yep, and
then with those, I'll mix in like face pulls, I call them. I can mix it in with a cable crossover machine, just little things like that I'll do. Just superset them in with a heavier lift,
and just to get an extra burn, a little more focusing a little bit more on a I don't want to say a smaller muscle group, but kind of just focus in on them.
Right.
And then like I don't have as many options as you. So when I get done with my regular shrugs, I do the same thing. You know, like I said, I'll do my weighted push-ups and then rear delts right away and kind of superset those, counter each lift or counter the movement, I should say. And then I'll do reverse grip shrugs.
Yeah.
Where I just reverse grip it and in
Yep.
front and do them. And then I will do those with neck extensions.
Okay.
Like,
yeah.
and I don't have any kind of a machine. It's just a head harness.
Yeah, and that's what we have in town too.
Okay. And then I'll do behind the back shrugs, and I'll superset those with heavy dumbbell shrugs.
Okay.
And
See,
then
I do my neck extensions and the dumbbell shrugs together. So
yeah, I wonder how we sound like a couple of meatheads talking.
couple of idiots.
But I mean, so that's what I do for Tuesdays, and then Wednesday for me is usually it's either a makeup day or it's like a cardio day or a ladder day or a bike day or a sled day, depending on what the weather's like outside.
Right. And Wednesday's my leg days.
Okay, just strictly legs.
Yep. I'll do my squats, which I do 3 sets of 10 or 15. I do 3 sets of 10 or 15. And then I'll do a hip sled with it, but I'll do my feet close together, and then I'll do a wide one. I throw calves in there with it. We have a calf machine, and then we also have a leg extension, leg curl machine. So I'll do those 2 together, and that's about it for my legs, And then determining, a lot of times I won't do cardio on leg day, but sometimes I'll do stairs or a hill, light version, because otherwise you'll just cramp up.
Yeah, you're smoked out.
Find yourself laying at the top of the hill, not being able to move.
Get a sled to slide back down it.
Yeah.
And then my Thursdays are my leg days, and I do legs and buys.
Yep.
So I'll do, like, once again, since I do kind of heavier leg days 3 times a week in a way, I don't do a whole lot of different leg lifts where I do leg extension, hamstring curl, all the lifts that you do.
Yeah.
I'll do like with your hip sled. I don't have any of that. I'll do 3 sets of 20 squats with kind of, I would call it mild weight, but for most guys, it's probably a little bit mid to heavier weight.
Yeah.
I'll wrap the hell out of my knees. I don't wear a belt anymore, but then I'll do my biceps. I'll do standing curls.
Yeah.
I'll do seated reverse grip.
Yep.
And then I'll do seated preacher. Then I'll kind of do burnout. I'll do 21 and then single them out with individuals. And before I squat, I do the Vertimax again.
Yeah.
All right. I haven't been, but I usually
do Vertimax, what, 2 days a week or 3?
Usually 2
Okay.
before my legs.
Okay.
Just to warm them up.
Before your front squats on Monday, and then your squats
and
on
then
Thursday.
Then my back squats on Thursday. And then that's about it for my Thursday.
And my Thursday's chest. It's just strictly all chest.
Go through it.
Which I pyramid bench. That's what I first start out with. I'll warm up my push-ups, 3 sets of push-ups, and then I'll do my bench first. That's the first thing I do, and I'll do a warm-up set of that. Maybe it's 15 or 20, and then I'll start my pyramid. Start with 10 and go down to 2 or 1, and then back up, and then I'll also right after that I'll leave a little bit of weight on, and I'll do reverse grip bench. And I just do 3 sets of 15 or 20 on that. Kind of a burnout thing. I don't know. It's kind of a new thing I started, I guess. But I'll do that. And then I'll do incline bench. And I'll do 5-5, 3-3-3. And in between each set of that, I do cable crossovers. So that kind of wrecks you, By the time you're on your last set of 3 on your incline, you're toast.
Yeah.
And then I'll do dumbbell flies. And then we also have a couple... I'll do a pec deck, we call it. I don't know. It's flies with a machine, sitting up. So I call it a pec deck. And I'll do 3 sets of that. I'll do 10 and then 10 full ones. And then I'll do 15 little fast twitch ones, I guess. And then we have another bench machine, but that's about my chest workout.
That's way more than what I do.
So,
but you have like we said, a lot more stuff.
And a lot of the cable crossover stuff, that's just a throw in, That's a little extra burn per se,
which I would love to.
It's great,
And then so for my bench day, what I'll do is I'll just do pyramid. I'll start off with 12, and then I'll go 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, and then repeat at 10 or probably 12 again.
Right.
With a little heavier weight. That's for my regular bench. And then I'll do incline right away. We'll go 5-5, 3-3, and add weight, or else I'll just do. Lately, I've been just doing 3 sets of 5 or 3 sets of 3, and then I'll do a superset again. I'll do flies, dumbbell flies, and I superset them with shrugs and rear delts. So I kind of incorporate traps again on bench.
Yep.
And then I'll do dumbbell pullovers is what I call them, where you basically you put both your shoulder blades on the bench, and you're kind of bridged across the bench, if you can imagine it, and then you just dumbbell over your head.
And I do
all
the
way
same
back.
thing, but I lay on the bench.
Yep.
So my head's hanging off the end. Well, it's not. It's right at the end of the bench. And then the dumbbell goes off,
Yep. That's a good one too. Stretch out everything. And that's pretty much it for my bench day.
My Friday is kind of a knockdown version of Monday. I call it an upper body burn. It's kind of a lot of the lifts. I mean, it's bis and tris. My Friday is bis and tris again for say, but I do a bunch of burnout little lifts, whether it's cable curls or just little stuff like that, individual curls or individual triceps, but that's my Friday workout. So I kind of lift arms I do lift arms twice a week per se, but I don't lift anything heavy on Fridays.
And that's kind of what my Wednesday would be a lot of times, where I'll go in and I'll do like forearms, or I'll do just little things that you don't really focus on. Most of the time, like your core lifts or like even shrugs, you don't really need to do a lot of forearms if you're doing shrugs without straps.
And I use straps on my shrugs.
Okay.
But I'll sometimes have 5 plates on.
Yeah. So you got to rip out your grip just can't handle so right. And usually
I always say I'm not lifting forearms today. I'm lifting traps. So I'm gonna put my straps on and do it right. But
yeah, that's true. That's right though. If you strap it up, you can focus a lot more on certain muscle groups. Right. And then Saturdays for me is kind of my Olympic BS day, where I kind of try to do hang cleans. Yeah. And it'll turn into maybe we're too busy Saturday all day shooting or something, and then I do it on Sunday. Yeah. It's Saturday or Sunday, and I'll do, usually what that day consists of is I'll do my push-ups. I'll do some core side abs, where you put a 45 with my weight vest on and put my feet up
on the bench.
Yep. And my elbow down and sit there for a minute.
Kind of a plank, but side.
Yep. Exactly.
And my Saturday is trap, a light trap, burn out my traps in my back. Sometimes, depending on how my Thursday chest day was, I'll do a little bit of chest stuff. If I didn't blow it out on a Thursday, I'll do a little bit of that chest stuff on Saturday. But like you said, if you don't get your Saturday stuff done, you'll do it on a Sunday, But it's light, burn stuff, nothing heavy on Saturday either.
And that's where I kind of get dumb, because I just do the side core stuff just to warm up, and then I go straight into put the straps on, the wrist straps, and start ripping hang cleans. And I mean, I think I just do right now. I don't go over 315. I'll do 3 sets of 5 at 315. And before, I was going freaking dumb, just stupid heavy. Yeah. But it's just rip them off good. It's good for explosion. It's actually kind of, in all honesty, when you get down to it, when I get done with my last set of that, I'm seeing stars, and you're about ready to pass out. But I would probably rather run a timed 2 mile by the time I get done with my hang cleans. And it's weird how that works. Yeah. There's a lot of times I get done doing like my 3rd set of squats. I'm like, dude, I would have rather just scrapped that and done a timed 4 mile. Yeah. But then the time you get down to that last 100 yards on your 4 mile or 2 mile, and you're trying to meet your time, you're like, son of a bitch, I wish I would have squatted today instead. Yeah. But, and then, I mean, there's a, like I said earlier, there's a science into intertwining cardio and other training into your lifting. And I don't really quite have that, I would say, figured out. I don't think how a lot of guys do it, but what I usually do is I'll do I didn't do it this year. I haven't done it once this year. I would usually go out 3 times a week or twice a week at least. And they would be on strategic days. And I would do weighted sleds. You'd have a harness, and they'd be about 50-yard sprints. And I would go boom, all the way down. I'd have 2 plates on, and then I would turn around, put the harness on backwards, and backpedal it. So you're countering that. Yeah. And then, that would be one workout. After you lift, that would be what I would do for my cardio or my running. Yeah. And then the next night would be, we've got a block here, or we call it the block. And it's 7 miles, and it ain't easy road. It's sandy, and then there's hills. And I would go to my max run or riding bike. I would hammer it as hard as I could and do it to the best ability that I could, and I would time it.
Yeah.
And then I would always try to do that better. And I think the best time I had on this was like 26 minutes. I don't even think I did that this year.
And it's you said 7 miles all the way around, correct?
Yep, 7 miles around. Yeah. And then when I started getting, a little bit more, I do the 12 miler where that you go all the way to the highway and down and back. But you got to be careful because we don't have a real wide shoulder, and it's kind of it is honestly dangerous a little bit.
Yeah. And
so
when I biked, I was on pavement, and my brother's bike is, you get on that thing and you just go.
But it's still biking.
It is, But I'll do 10 or 12 miles, and it's like, gosh, that was pretty easy. What compared to coming out here in gravel, sand.
And you're spinning, and you're going uphill, and your front tire's wobbling. And then what I would do after, like, that would be another designated cardio for a night. That would be another one. And then for the other night, what I would do is ladders. In agility, ladders is something that I actually taught myself in. I think it was I know it was in college. I had a Don Beebe DVD.
Oh, yeah.
And he used to play at Chadron State, the college you were talking about. He was a stud, man. He was so fast, little short white dude that just flew. And I watched him and learned all of the ladder drills by that. And then now you get on YouTube, and you can do. We like Rush, my kid, and I are learning to do a different ladder drill almost weekly, trying to.
Right.
And there's push-up ones, there's backwards ones, and I kind of want to break that down and do some a YouTube video on that too, because I've had quite a few guys message me on, hey man, what were you doing? How are you doing that? And you can find it all on YouTube, easy enough. But it'd be cool for us just to show you why we do it and how we do it. And that's just something that if you do it fast enough, it's not designed to be done for cardio. It's designed for fast twitch explosion. But if you do it hard and fast, it turns into cardio real quick.
Oh, sure. Heck yeah, it does.
And that's those are kind of some of the things. I used to do box jumps here. Right out here in the front yard, remember those railroad ties I dug in?
Yep.
And boom, boom, boom. And I should have left them up, but they kind of rotted.
Yeah.
All sorts of stuff. Strength shoes, remember those?
Yeah.
We used to do those in college at Illinois.
We took those to college with us.
Remember the baseball coach, like, what was that?
Well, I remember the first day we showed up, we were like, can we get on the track to do this? He was freaking out. He's like, what?
And at practice, he's like, we didn't know who this guy was. And he was probably one of the best damn coach. I mean, he was hardcore bad news.
Yeah.
And he said, I can't remember the guy's name who he was talking to. He's, shit, you think these two crazy guys from South Dakota, they want to come in and ask if they can use the damn track to run? You think I'm going to deny them from playing? Hell no. Just crazy. No good, Birch.
Yeah.
All sorts, just.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's something that we did. I don't know what the design of those shoes, if it was any good or not, but I mean, I think you could have done just as well without it, just using the same program.
Yeah. I think all they did is tore your calves to pieces and
bad, hard, sore. Like you couldn't walk the next day style if you did it right.
Yeah. So just things we did.
And it's an easy one for us to talk about. I mean, I'm not a nutritionist. We don't eat bad. No. I don't eat fast food. That's something I do not do.
No pop, no candy.
No pop, but I don't know about if those are any.
We do bang. We do bang like crazy, man.
I was all against carbonation in college. I would not drink anything carbonated. But now, I mean, we'll sip on those. That's the closest thing. No alcohol, no candy, no pop, like you said. And it's not meant to be bragging. It's just, hey, when I was in college, I am still Catholic.
Yeah.
My wife isn't, but I go to church with her. I don't care. I think Anyway, I gave up stuff for Lent, and that would carry with me. I remember in college, I gave up pizza. My sister and I, she played volleyball at SDSU, and they got second in the nation when she was there playing. We would always order pizza in her dorm, or she'd come over to mine, and we'd have pineapple Canadian bacon, and we'd get that over at Gordon too when we played baseball a lot, or shrimp, pineapple.
Yeah.
And I gave that up because I liked it so much. I gave it up, and I never ate it again until probably a couple years ago.
Until you got old.
Yep. Until I kind of whatever. But then same thing with pop. I gave up pop. I gave up candy for Lent, and it's carried with me. And I think that's something like you've heard it somewhere. Learn to discipline yourself so that somebody else doesn't have to. Lifting, training, working out is a discipline. You have to make yourself do it. And every day I remind myself that when I do sit-ups, my last 50 reps of crunches are DISCIPLINE, discipline. I spell it out in my mind. And that's just something that,
That's just something that started as an athlete, college athlete, high school athlete, whatever, and it just stuck with you.
And it's just something that I think it's a good mentality because
something, the way you chose to do something and the way you looked at something, and now it's
a standard.
Yeah.
It's just the norm is all it is. And it's not anything that we try to be. It's just something that we are.
It ain't anything we brag about. It ain't anything we we're better than you or whatever. It's just how we do it or what we do, and we're just sharing it with you guys, I guess.
That's exactly right. If you wanna see bragging, hey, you guys show up here on Friday. We'll see who can bench more. Meet at the weight room in Martin. We'll see who can do heavier curls.
See if there's any high schoolers that want to hang.
That's funny. That is, or college. Dude, you go to college and those guys, you look at them and you're like, man, I was there. And those guys aren't. You see them hang clean in 225 or benching
225
for their maxed out set at 12 maybe. And you're just like, yeah, that's how it is. And it's nothing funny. They're trying, but I mean,
that's just it. I don't make fun of nobody that's in the weight room.
Yep.
It might be tough for them to be in there. It might be a struggle. I don't know what they're doing or what they're going through.
We go to town.
If somebody comes up to me and asks for help, I'm going to help them, man.
That's what's awesome.
It's like, dude,
that's the
I
right
ain't going to help you unless you ask, but I ain't going to turn you down either,
That's the right thing to do.
So
we'll go to town to church and we'll see a guy that's overweight, man, from the housing running. And I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
Freaking
Look at that guy.
Colder.
How many people are not doing that?
Colder than hell out.
Yep.
And this guy's got a knee brace on and he's still making himself do it.
Yep.
And that's what it's all about, that kind of motivation, making yourself go out and try to better it. Because in the end, I mean, I think it'll pay off. Probably pay off wearing your joints out.
Yeah. Pay off your body hurt the rest of the week from lifting one day.
It does too. I mean, my arms go numb. My ribs still hurts from chasing cows on that damn little 4-wheeler. Gosh, beating the piss out of me. Yeah. But that's a rundown, guys. If you have any questions on it, like I said, we're gonna be going into detail on a lot of this on some videos. Break it down. I mean, it's gonna be kind of tough when we're trying to get productions out there for video reviews and
Hey, back to that guy that said, "What, are you getting too old? You're doing podcasts now?"
Yeah.
Never brought that
up?
He
did. I forgot. We better do that before we close out here. I was just randomly kind of thinking about this too. And some guy, you could tell he was foreign. He made a comment. You'll be able to see it on I think it was podcast number 3.
Yep.
Episode 3. Yep. And he's like, I come here expecting to see a cool video, something or another. And he's like, all I see 2 guys sit and talk like they're getting old to children because they can't hunt anymore.
Oh, we're getting old. Right.
It was funnier than that, but it was something to that extent. Yeah. I'm like, don't count us out yet. I made a comment. I said, dude,
we're still hammering, dude. Come on, man.
This year's been hard because we've been doing all this add-on stuff and everything. That's cardio in itself with what we were doing. There was so much work that we've tried to get this done so that we can do more, and it'll come, guys. We're just trying to get this rolling. So
hang with us.
We're at 1 hour and 3.5 minutes. So this has been a long one. It's a little bit longer than what I was thinking. And this is just something that we know. If you guys have any insight on what you'd like us to talk about, we're going to go there. I was thinking about maybe doing optics next. Nothing crazy. And what we'll probably do is there's going to be some overlap here. There's going to be, we'll probably do another training podcast that overlaps into this.
Break
further
certain things down. Yeah.
Same thing with optics. And when we get into that stuff, there's going to be certain things that we don't cover because we don't want to break it down to that extent yet.
Yeah.
We just want to go what we use, how we use it, kind of keep it simple, and then go from there. But anyway, guys, I think that's everything that I want to add for this one.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Okay. And, if you guys have any insight, anything that you'd like to hear us go over, by all means, let us know, and we'll try our best to do it. Once again, I'm James O'Neill, and this has been the O'Neill Ops Podcast. We have Keith Rissy here along for the ride as co-host. He'll be on here quite a bit. And we are out.